there. Today is January 27th, and I've been talking a lot about our thoughts and our beliefs, and the fact that our thoughts generate our emotions. And what I want to start talking about now is what to do with it, because it's one thing to talk about it and bring awareness to it, but it's another thing to actually do something about it. And, this is what I've been doing for the last, I don't know, like 19 years of my life, is really questioning why we do the things that we do, and how we can shift and do something different, and experience something different. And, I feel like my life had, especially in the last 10 years, has been a lot of it's been orchestrated in a way that, like the ass has fallen out of my life so many times. I've gone through so many struggles, and it's given me the time to really reflect on, what is important, but also, like, can we find peace through the hardest of times? Can we experience joy through the hardest of times? And the answer that I continue to get is yes. And it's not just like, it's not an answer in words. It's an answer in me actually experiencing those things. When I thought I was dying, when my mom died, like, during the hardest times of my life actually is where I have found the most peace. And so what that continues to do for me is prove to me that there is something more than just this life that we believe we're living. There's something more than this avatar experience that we're having. And there's a point in everybody's life, I believe, where we go from believing that everything's happening to us to starting to recognize that we actually have a say in how we respond to what happens, in order to learn from it and then choose something new. I guess what I'm trying to say is we go through life thinking we're this victim of circumstances. And then there's a point where we stop giving our power to everyone else, and we realize that we can actually take it back. And, I've written 12 books in the last 5 years. Was it 5 or 6? I think it's 6 years now. If you count 2020, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, yeah, that's 6 years. So in the last 6 years, I've written 12 books, and what everything is about is what is there? Like, what is there out there? What is there in here? And this is a really huge awareness that I had yesterday, because every day I've been making videos about my awarenesses, because I spend at least an hour a day every day reflecting, meditating, getting to be, the word meditation actually means to become familiar with. I didn't know this until my friend Crystal told me a few weeks ago during my podcast, but that's a really, really beautiful way to describe and look at meditation. It's to become familiar with our feelings, to become familiar with our thoughts, to become familiar with our bodies, and to learn how to be in the moment, how to be in our bodies, how to engage with our senses, and to really start to see that, being in the moment is when we are in the space between our thoughts. And so I've been doing this every day for at least an hour since 2016, and I'm just going to keep sharing my awarenesses every day, because they are so powerful. And what I've been saying a lot, and here's the thing, I'm going to share my awarenesses from where I am now, which doesn't mean I'm always going to be right, and which doesn't mean that, I'm telling you to believe what I'm saying because it's the gospel truth and I know this. It's we learn things and we see it through our filters, and then we learn more, and it's like then we release some of those filters so we see more truth. And so what I've been saying a lot for years is that we have neural pathways created in our mind and wounds set up in our heart. And actually today what I saw was I'm completely wrong about that. Our hearts do not get wounded. We feel emotions, but the emotions don't hurt our hearts. They don't leave scars. They do not leave wounds. And again, I am always open to being wrong about everything I'm saying, but I really feel like this is based in some truth here, because when we think about emotions, what our emotions actually are is it's a chemical response. It's a chemical response to what is happening around us and also to the thoughts that we are thinking. So when something oh God, I love my little partner. This is my daughter's little puppy. Anyway, when something happens in our lifetime, we feel emotions. We feel angry, we feel sad, we feel scared, whatever it may be. And then our brain takes a picture of everything around us. It's interesting because, for an example, you could go for dinner with someone and that person, breaks up with you. And it could be a traumatic experience. And at the time you're eating shrimp. Well, because your brain takes out a picture of everything that's going on around you, for the rest of your life, you could be allergic to shrimp. And it actually has nothing to do with the shrimp. And it has everything to do with that really painful conversation. And this is what continues to happen through our lifetime, depending on what we heard from other people, what we told ourselves. And so, we could have had a run-in with a male. And for the rest of our lives, men are scary, men can't be trusted, men are creepy. We could have experiences. For myself, I've had a lot of experiences with money. It's like, you can't spend money or you're going to get into trouble. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are assholes, like whatever it may be. But these are all stories that we're believing. And what I said before is that I've always said that we had these wounds in our hearts. No, we don't. We actually have a bunch of memories stored in our subconscious mind. There were stories put on those memories by other people, by ourselves. And depending on the intensity and the frequency, like I said yesterday, is how deeply programmed we are and how deeply we believe certain things. And then when those things get triggered, when something that our brain has taken a picture of happens again, the same chemicals are sent, the neuropeptides are sent so that we feel the same emotion. This is to keep us safe because, if there's a bear walking down the street, we need to become afraid of it. Emotions are not the problem. It's the stories that are causing the emotions, the memories that are causing the emotions. And like I said, I was wrong when I said our heart stores wounds. It doesn't. Our brain stores memories, which makes this so much easier to work with. This is like the hallelujah moment for me, because it's like, wow, this is even easier to heal. So I kind of used up a lot of time today, but the next video, I'm actually going to do a Spirit Speaks session, and that's where we're going to start to look at the patterns that try to keep these beliefs in place, the things that we do to prevent ourselves from healing, from being happy. We're fighting, we're fearing, we're fixing, and what we're actually not doing is living and loving. So, I'm going to keep doing these sessions every day to really help us work through this stuff.